welcome back to my channel. I'm Liam. The buy rounds are finally over, a bit more freedom. The only unusual thing about this round is looking at your trades bar and only seeing 2 trades up there. It just feels weird. It feels like the last few weeks we've just had so many trades that I've used. 2 trades just feels like a shock to the system. But with limited trades left, we don't want to be wasting too many in these coming weeks. So this week's trades, at this very moment, I have to get rid of Duncan. Unfortunately, he's out for 8 to 12 weeks. So he's a must trade, unfortunately. At this very stage, I've gone, and most likely, I've gone to Brad Crouch as a little bit of a pod option to Jack Steele for 100k cheaper. He's gone 4 of the last 5, over 5 of the last 6, I think 99 plus, averaging 130 in his last 3. Very low break even. And I feel like I can get within 10 to 15 of Steele, and it saves me a trade for future weeks. So it was between Crouch and Simpkin. They've got both very similar records. Simpkin's probably got the more favourable matchup this week, but with me having Cunnington already, didn't want to stack up too much on North players. So I've gone Crouch. He's a ball magnet, has a history of doing that, has a history of maybe having not the best disposal as such, but he seemed to improve it a little bit so far at the Saints. And hit a little bit of form as had a fairly slow start, but he's come good in the last few rounds. So this just allows me to save a trade because my plan is next week of offloading Danaher to Dangerfield. So if I went to a steal, I would have had to use a trade on Jones to possibly Edwards or a Briggs this week to fund the steal trade. We had 5 trades left, then would have had to use another trade to get Danaher up to Dangerfield, or maybe Zorko, but don't think I have enough cash for that. And that will only leave me with 2 trades to get rid of Haynes or a defender for a premium midfielder, which I was planning on doing at the end of a monthish time. So I feel like it was a bit of a wasted trade, but I feel like I can hold Crouch and get within about 10 of Steele, and then I can utilise, and I feel like you can utilise that trade more worthwhile at the end of the season, trading a Haynes or a Salem or a Ridley to a Steele type, and I feel like that's a 20-point probably difference. I'll just wait a little bit more, bit of safety with trades as well, that I don't burn out on them and have a struggle at the end of the season. I like to finish strong. I haven't started the best, but hopefully finishing strong. And it's always better to finish strong than struggling. You look on the positive side for next year's season. So yeah, that's my thinking of bringing Crouch for Duncan, because I plan on next week going Jones to a rookie of sorts. Ideally, a Bramble at 102k gives me a little bit more cash to go Danaher to Dangerfield. The worry about going also with the Steele trade is Jones to Edwards, Jones to Briggs, Jones to Bramble. They all play on the Sunday. I have to get rid of Duncan tonight or Thursday night, depending when you're watching this. So I would like to bring in someone that's going to play and possibly just give me some safety cover if anything goes completely wrong. So that's another reason why I'm not bringing it. Plus, I want to know what the funds of the Danaher to Dangerfield trade will be for next week. I do have the opportunity, if one of them do get named, I see Danaher and Dangerfield, what their price is predicted for next week. I can work out a trade this week, so I can do it, upgrade them next week. With Jones out, his price isn't going to change. So just working out which is the best player to bring in for that scenario. So I've rambled on a bit about my thoughts, but if you're in a similar situation, don't be hesitant in going the cheaper option to save a trade because donuts at the end of the season, that's costing you 100 points a week. These only cost you 5 to 10 points a week, plus give you a bonus to add more value onto a trade in future weeks. So with regards to captains this week, I'm in not in the best boat with not having an option in the first 4 or 5 games. Ideally, with a Took Miller against North, absolute brilliant VC option. Steele against Richmond, I feel like is a very nice VC option. Lions, I wouldn't go Neil, but a Lions against Geelong might go extremely well. Geelong seem to give up one big score a week. I feel like it'll be Lions, possibly McCluggage, but it'll be certainly one of those two to VC in the first few weeks. I wouldn't go Grundy as they're coming off the bye, and Darcy's been in some pretty good form. I don't think Grundy will go 125. He might go 110, but probably wouldn't VC Grundy first week back after an injury. So I would certainly want to VC one of them, and then captain a Gawn or Oliver on the Saturday night against the Bombers. A bit wary of the Bulldogs playing West Coast. And McRae hasn't had the best history against them, and I'm worried Bontempelli could get a mini yo tag, which might curb his influence. He has pretty much been untaggable though during this season, so we'll see how that goes. They might try and tag Liberatore instead. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But I would preferably VC a Took or Steel type and then see Oliver Gawn on that Saturday night. Because I don't feel safe VCing Cunnington. I think Greenwood might go to him, and Crouch. He does have a pretty high ceiling as such in the last few weeks. It's just someone I just wouldn't want to cap. It just doesn't feel right VCing him. Aaron Hall and Zeeb were also options that I've considered. They could go huge against Gold Coast, but Blundstone's been a tricky ground for running defenders. Cold, dewy. So at this very moment, I'm going to go VC Oliver. Hope he scores well. Put the C in Brockman, and then that'll be it. But if he doesn't get his 120, I think Bontempelli is a safer option over McRae for this week. McRae just doesn't. He's been extremely consistent, but I feel like Bontempelli, his scores per disposal is incredible this year. So hopefully I don't have to worry about that. And I can just Oliver scores well, and that will be a hit. So that's captain and VC options for this round. You could also look at Josh Kelly. I wouldn't want to touch anyone in the Adelaide Carlton game. West Coast. Nick Nat against undermanned Bulldog side is also a pod captain as well. Few people might have loophole options. I don't necessarily. I won't be doing that. I might be tempted to loop Danaher with Waitman this week. I just saw that. If Brockman's definitely named out, I'll consider that as an option this week. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good weekend.